Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel for another fabulous little speed build. Today I made one of the most simple homes you could ever possibly make. It's limited pack, it's limited budget, it's small, it's a single family home, it's my thing. And I made it challenging for myself because I was being a little bit of an idiot sandwich, which is completely my fault, my bad. But for those of you who could not tell, today I am building a limited pack build. This home is 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. I built it in the world of Newcrest, which is a base game world, and it is only base game and high school years. I had a lot of fun, once I stopped crying about the fact that I was doing a horrible job. And I'm gonna be real. The roof was kicking my ass, okay? The roof was kicking my butt, and then I kept fiddling with it, and then I scrapped it, obviously. And I fiddled with the exterior paint and the roof pretty much throughout the build. Multiple times are you going to see me decorating an upstairs bedroom, back to the roof, decorating the downstairs living room, back to the roof, because I just couldn't make up my mind. But all in all, I do enjoy this house. It ends up being just under 40,000 simoleons, and it is available on the gallery. Of course, my gallery is always in the description box down below if you would like to check it out. I unfortunately did not upload the shell of this house because I've been trying to be a little bit better about doing that, because I understand how many of you all like to just decorate. I also like to just decorate, but I make content, so I don't have the luxury. It's you want to be a creator, you gotta do it all, I guess, except terrain tools, because, well, I'm real bad at those. I can hardly make a pawn that looks good, and it's just a hole. It doesn't even need to be perfectly circular, and I'm bad at it. But if you are looking for some really fun little shells, I have tons of shells. I just actually uploaded a shell of the build I am building on Friday, which is a humongous mansion, which is not limited pack or limited budget, which is part of the reason I am building this. I wanted to make sure I got back to my roots for all my party peeps who don't have access to as many of the packs. No one tell me about how you have access to all the packs. Sometimes y'all be telling on yourself in the comments and I don't know how to respond, because then I'm an accomplice to a crime. I have a lot of anxiety. I can't have that added, okay? But anyways, I uploaded that shell, and I have tons of shells all over. Limited pack shells, specific size shells, and I love to just decorate. So if you're ever looking for something to kind of just make your own, those are always available. And I always make sure my shells have the floor plan done, and the landscaping, and obviously the roofing and the actual exterior, because I freaking hate doing that. Sucks. So it's yellow right now, and for some reason I decide that that's boring, and I make it not yellow. And I'm going to be real with you. At the end, it ends up yellow again. But at some point, it's brick, and sometimes at some point it's black, and sometimes it goes all over the place, if we're being completely real. And that's because I was trying to be different. And one of my main little gripes with the base game, other than the fact that I feel there's not enough stuff, but I'm also team simmers, so that means I'm probably never gonna feel there's enough stuff. But it has been a hot fucking minute since the Sims team has given us any free shit for the base game or Swatch updates. And I know they just did that whole thing where it was a whole week you could log on, a login event. That's cool, I'm here for it, except I also heard let's say I don't know, an asteroid strikes my house down, and I don't have my computer set up, and I have to get a new computer. My computer is insured, by the way. Do you know what an adult I felt like calling up my renter's insurance company and be I need specific coverage for the computer and my dogs. Yes. Anyway, I would not be able to get access to those items anymore, which includes the money trash can re-swatch color they have, the mini fridge, I believe there was a vending machine, a couple hairstyles, a new trait, which is all fun and dandy, but give me more stuff. Give me more stuff right now. Oh, fantastic, I want 14 more of them right now, please. Swipe my card. Anyway, back to what I was actually talking about. So, because we're using High School Years is a pretty bulky pack, in my opinion. It's got a lot of great furniture. It comes with several beds. I want to say it comes with 4 or 5 double beds. 4 or 5 single beds, something like that. That's just off the top of my head. It's got 4 rugs, it has sofas, it's got chairs, it's got desks, it's got 3 different bookshelves. 3. That's crazy. But it's a pretty bulky pack. It's just got a very specific style that's very teen-esque, which makes sense, at least in my opinion, and I think that's good. I don't know. But I was having a hard time trying to mix it into this like suburban base game style. Granted, like I was not using those base game sofas again. I was not using the base game. I did use the base game counters because I didn't have any options. I would be willing to get on my hands and knees. I'd make a 29-minute long apology video with fake tears and all, talking about how I've changed and I've grown. If EA, the Sims team, would do me the solid and just give me some base game shaker style cabinets with like plain swatches, just like white, black, brown, maybe like a pastel color for feeling fucking frisky, with all the different countertop options, like a wood grain block, a white swatch, a black swatch, some marble. Give it to me, please, please. If you're not hearing me enough, but this is what I want. I would forgive them for so much. Not everything. Excuse me, ladies. Sorry, the dogs are being crazy. I had to give them a little. Excuse me. Sorry, they're feeling a little rumpus. It's been raining by my house, so we have not had as much outside time lately. I was saying something about the shaker cabinets. Oh, I would forgive them for everything except, Journey to Batu. I also don't think I'd be ready to forgive them for, like, the My Wedding Stories pack. Now, I like that pack, in the sense that I like the world that comes with it. Those windows are gorgeous. They've been chokehold. I like the wedding dresses. I like all that stuff. But it's not lost on me that that shit does not work. So don't spend your money on it. Don't spend your money on it, okay? Unless it's on sale and you really want, like, the stuff that comes in it, because that's what I did. I also make content. That's how I justify a lot of my purchases. I make content. I make content. I need this. That's not necessarily true. I had to shut my dogs out because they were being way too crazy, and so unfortunately they can no longer girl boss for the time being. They're taking 10. They're taking 10 for the little stars they have. I will say, as I'm watching the footage back, it's like borderline painful, the amount of jumping around that I was doing. I do apologize for that. But I really used a lot of high school stuff in this pack. Both the teen rooms upstairs, I imagine they were twins. I'm decorating the room we're in now for someone who, like, maybe wants to be like a streamer. I don't know what exactly this person streams, but I do know that their room is giving lifestyle influencer in like the best way possible, except it's not like poopy beige and white and brown. You guys know what I'm talking about. You see the influencers, they're like, move in with me to my New York City apartment. They're like, this apartment was so hard to find. It's like $12 million a month. And I have a white Schaefer sofa. And I also have 2 dogs. But it's always pristinely clean. Tell me, what the hell is going on there? I got white sneakers that I've Scotch guarded and worn twice that are not as white as they were when I opened them. Anyway, in the second bedroom, I'm doing something a little bit more like, I want to say deep, but it's sports. The theme is sports. Not even a specific sport, all the sports. But I imagine maybe they're a little bit of a type A overachiever. I didn't get to clutter the rooms as much as I would have liked, because there's a lot of really beautiful clutter stuff that comes in high school years. But that's because I made this house under 40,000 simoleons, which I really wanted to do because I think that makes for a really realistic house. If you start the game with 4 Sims, like 2 parents and 2 teens, I think you automatically start with like 26 or 28,000 simoleons, which is pretty cool in my opinion. So this is definitely an obtainable house if you started with like 2 Sims and kind of worked your way up to playing. And this house has got like a really great flow to me. I personally really enjoy when the primary bedroom is on another floor or on an opposite side of, say, the kids' rooms or the guest room or whatever it is. It just makes sense in my brain, which, again, not a lot does, but this does. You can see that black brick I have going on. That does not stay. I did like the way it looked. It just didn't feel right for, like, the suburban vibes we were doing. I cut out some of the landscaping because I ended up going through debug and was doing a lot of, like, siphoning through. And for those of you who don't know what debug is, it's essentially a bonus list of like assets you can get in the game, but they're not fully done, so they're typically free. Your Sims don't recognize them as real objects, and they'll kind of walk through them, which is a downside. But on the upsides, when you're doing like a little budget build, there's some really cool stuff in there. I used some string lights from High School Years debug. The planter boxes I used on the front of the house, the stepping stones are base game debug, the flowers are base game debug, and I enjoyed doing that. I thought it looked like really pretty and really fun. But as we go through this last little bit, I am jumping around like a lot because I was getting close to my budget, but I wanted to go through and kind of finish up just some last minute details. Like those windows were so needed. I ended up adding like some rug, a little bit more clutter throughout the house just to make it feel lived in, because that's the real problem I think with a budget build is you run out of money to clutter. And that's because the way that The Sims prices things makes no sense. Like, you'll see it a little bit later, but I'm going to go through and delete this photo frame I put in the sports theme bedroom because it's, you know, like 350 simoleons. What? And then I was going to switch out that bookshelf you just saw by the back door with the other cute, like, more modern bookshelf. So the end table with the books, the flowers, and the clock I put on it was like 125 or 145 simoleons, something like that. To replace it with the bookshelf I thought about replacing it with, it was like 530 simoleons. I said, no. That is not quintessential. But we are finishing up our last little details, just going through, adding some paint, and I know we jumped around a lot, which is no big deal because we're going to jump in-game right now for a live tour. Alright team, we are here for our final walkthrough that I am filming for the second time. And I was already kind of cutting it close as it's about to storm pretty crazily at my home. And that means I could very well lose my Wi-Fi and even more so my power. So let's go ahead and do a little 360 moment. As you can see, it ended up being yellow in the final color scheme, and it is darling. It's also a very small lot, so my bad. I like a small lot. I like the intimacy of it. And I also want to give you guys like a little top-down view. So here, I'm going to turn the grid on too, because I know like when I was first starting out building and I wasn't super great at floor plans, and I'm still not the best at floor plans, I really enjoyed like looking at Pinterest or floor plan websites or even other Simmers builds and kind of like recreate their floor plan and get through their thought process. So this way you can kind of count the tiles if you wanted to recreate your own build. And then we have the upstairs as well. And again, this is on the gallery. It should be pretty simple to download. I know I forgot to upload the shell version of this house, which is so my bad. I deeply apologize, guys. I cannot always be that slay. I will be better, though. I will say, because it's base game in high school years, if you don't have high school years, you should probably still be able to, like, mostly download this and just replace the items, because it's not like this house is super cluttered, super furnished, and the bulk of the items are base game, like the bathroom stuff, the kitchen stuff. Anyway, you come up here, and we have a lot of debug, like, landscaping, like these little planter boxes are from high school years. The flowers and the tiles are actually from base game debug, and then you come up to this lovely little porch, and you have, bam, your first skill building item, which I think is really awesome. I think it can be really challenging to get nicer skill building items in budget homes. Same thing with like clutter. And then you come in, you have this lovely little entryway. I like to make it feel lived in, and entryways has been like my new thing in terms of how I personally make my houses feel lived in. And then we have this beautiful little like bookshelf area. I love this bookshelf in the sense that I like it for like bedrooms. I don't know how I feel about it in a common space, but one thing I also like about it is if you take like one of the beds, we'll take like one of this one, and you could kind of like, oop, I don't have move objects on, but like you could like scoot it a little bit and do like a built-in situation. I don't know. It's something I've done. And then of course we have our high school diplomas because we could afford that as a piece of artwork. If I walked into my parents' home and my mom just like randomly hung up her high school diploma, I'd probably be like, okay, queen, like, do you, boo-boo? Okay. Then we come into our downstairs bathroom, which is lovely because it has a shower bath combo and the lovely, most beautiful tile. Some of my favorite tile in the entire franchise comes from the High School Years pack, and there's a lot of it. And then you come into our kitchen area and dining. You definitely could have like cut this wall off if you wanted a more closed off floor plan, because sometimes I personally like a more closed off floor plan. Just for in The Sims, I think it can look a little bit better and it functions a little bit better, especially if you have infants. Especially. Closed off floor plans are great for infants. If you know, you know. But I wanted it to be open as this house is relatively small. And then over here, of course, we have our primary bedroom, which for lack of a better word, the entire thing is beige. It's beige and it's got this blue thing, and I put some blue lamps because I like the blue lamps, and I was like, how can I put the blue in here? So I put that in. But it is beige, and that's because I couldn't afford any artwork. But we do have curtains, which is a slay. Anyway, yeah, this wallpaper ends up doing a lot, mostly because, again, I couldn't afford any artwork. But I do like the wallpaper. I've been really liking stuff like this. We just got one that also looks similar from, like, the Cozy Bistro kit or the Love Struck expansion pack. And, yeah, this room is a little sad, but it is furnished. So, points for that. Then you come upstairs, and I use those super fun High School Years doors that come in all these fun swatches. There's some of my favorite, like, little things to do to spice up my room a little. Ooh, I actually kind of like that one more. Actually, you know what? Just for the time being, I'm gonna put that one on. Sorry. But you come into our first room, which is like our little gaming-centric room, my room, if you will. And I pretty much use all High School Years stuff in here. Actually, I think everything in this room is High School Years except this backpack and this mirror is base game. Sorry, we just had a little interruption from the puppers as they are afraid of thunder, so now they are hiding in the office with mommy. Anyway, then you come in here, which we have our little Jack and Jill bathroom. That's what we call those stateside. Which is like when two rooms, or like maybe not even two rooms, maybe just like one bathroom has like two entry points. I'm pretty sure there's no one from outside the United States who watches my videos. If you are one of those people, hello, welcome. And I'm willing to bet that that's not what you guys call them outside of the US. But what do I know? What do I know? Then we come into our other room, which is sports themed. Just sports. Not a particular sport, just sports. But I will say this is one of my favorite beds in the entire game because it's got... Oh, don't do that, don't do that. It's got some of my favorite swatches, like this one. Ugh, love it. This one, gorge. This one, fun. I like the black one too. I just love it. I don't love the whole furniture set, but I do love this bed specifically because I think it's cute. We have like a little chair. Again, one of the 3 different bookshelves you can get in this pack, which is pretty cool. And then, oh, you know what I also forgot because we're talking about skill building items? Bam! Computer. An expensive computer, if I would like to add. You know, High School Years comes with 3 computers as well. It's a pretty bulky pack. Like, I know the gameplay can be a little, like sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but the build assets, they slay. Then we have another skill building item, slay. We love that. So that's perfect. And then we have kind of like a little barbecue area. Now, these lights are from High School Years Debug, and I understand they're floating, but that's because they were clipping in the kitchen, and I had to fix them, so if you don't like them, just delete them, but I like them, and I'm going to pretend I don't know that they're floating, okay? Let me have that, okay? Okay, please? Oh, and then also, you know what else I added? Because it's like one of the main features for High School Years. These windows are all from High School Years, but they actually function as like doors. Your Sims can climb through them. And I added this little like trellis. Trellis? Yes, that's a trellis. Oh, that's a $5 word. Slay. I added this little trellis and I actually made it functional so your Sims can sneak out of this bathroom window, which I thought was like a fun little kind of gameplay feature, storytelling feature, if you will. But that brings us to the end of our build, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a little thumbs up. It's on the gallery, which is as always in the description box down below, and if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel. We're almost to 1,000 subs, which is kind of crazy, and if you subscribe, then you can see this massive 6-bedroom, 6-bathroom wine cellar mansion monstrosity I have coming just in a couple days, and I upload every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern time. So with that being said, don't forget to drink your water, and I will see you guys with my mansion in just a couple days. Bye everyone.